to Attorney Michelle Joc, no? Bilang human rights lawyer, ano bang mga karapatang pantao yung pwedeng maapektuhan ng judgment, particularly ng People's Initiative?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Your Honors. Actually, kung sa People's Initiative po yan, it would depend on what the proposal is for an amendment. At klaro-klaro naman na hindi pwede naman i-revise ang ating Constitution sa pamamagitan ng People's Initiative. If I may also address, Madam Chair, the statement made by the Comelec Chair that they have a ministerial duty to accept the signature sheets. My understanding of the law is that the Comelec has a ministerial duty to accept a petition, but not signature sheets alone that are not accompanied by a petition. I believe the Comelec Chair himself said that the signature sheets are a mere scrap of paper, in which case, how can there be a ministerial duty to accept mere scraps of paper? So I think that should also be pointed out. And if I may also, Madam Chair, aside from the reiterated law, the fact that the proposed amendment is a revision, that the signature sheets themselves are nothing, and they should never have been even accepted from the beginning, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
One last question, Madam Chair, for
Maybe we give the Comelec an opportunity
Yes,
to
Madam
respond also to that, because I did hear the Comelec chairman say that without the petition, the signature sheets are mere scraps of paper. So why did you accept these scraps of paper?
Madam Chair, simply because it's provided for in Comelec Resolution 10650, which we suspended in order to resolve issues such as this one, whether or not, for purposes of the People's Initiative, whether or not really the petition should come first or the signature form should come first ahead of the petition. That is one of the issues that should be resolved. Alin po ba talaga ang dapat mauna? Ang petition bago ang signature sheets o ang signature sheets bago ang formal na petition. So, yan po yung isang issues na kinakailangan i-resolve, and that's the reason why isa po yan sa mga bagay na pinag-usapan ng MPANG para po mas maging maliwanag kung alin ba talaga ang una at huli sa dalawa.
Pero dami-dami na ninyong tinanggap eh. I think si Senator Bato has been aching to talk.
Madam Chair, thank you, Madam Chair. Chairman George, habang nag-hearing tayo ngayon, marami tayong mga kababayan na nanonood at meron nang nagpapalak na bawiin yung kanilang signature. Will the Comelec allow this? And if you allow this, paano bang gagawin nila? Saan sila pupunta? Pupunta pa ba sila sa Purok, sa barangay, sa Comelec, sa police station? O ano pong gagawin nila para mabigyan natin ng linaw kung paano nila gawin ito? Madam Chair, Your Honors, maraming salamat po. Yung po ang kadahilanan kung bakit sinuspend din namin ang rules sapagkat wala pong provision sa Comelec Resolution 10650 ng procedure ng withdrawal ng mga signatures. For example, pupunta ang isang pumirma doon po sa signature sheet doon sa local Comelec natin. Sure po ako kung naandyan yung rules namin, hindi ko papayagan, Madam Chair, Your Honors, yung aming local Comelec sapagkat wala pong nakalagay doon sa aming pong 10650 kung paano mag-withdraw. At the same time, wala pong form sa withdrawal. So, ibig sabihin po, pagka tinignan nyo ng isang independent person yung mismong aming rules, as if hindi siya pumapayag na may mag-withdraw na kahit na isa doon sa mga signatories. Mabuti at sinuspende nyo dahil kung ganun, napakaraming Pilipino ang nababayulit yung kanilang karapatan na bawiin yung kanilang perma. Napakaraming gustong bumawi ng perma ngayon. So, mabuti sinuspende nyo, Madam Chair, at klaro tayo na yun pala ay hindi nila pwedeng bawiin. Kahit na sabihin, mahirap naman, no? Kung mahirap ka lang, no? Pobre ka lang ba? Naisahan ka lang. O sige, magpirma kayo dito. Bibigyan kayo ng AX bukas ng 3,000 pesos. Punta kayo, pirma kayo dito. Tapos ngayon, na-realize mo, because of this hearing, na-realize mo na mali pala yung ginawa ko. Yung palang pirma ko ay bininta ko na palang kaluluwa ng Pilipinas doon. Gusto kong bawiin. Tapos hindi pala pwedeng bawiin kung hindi niyo sinuspend yung ginagawa ninyo. So, that will result to something very bad. Para sa mga tao na sabi, porque mahirap lang kami. Hindi na pala namin pwedeng bawiin yung mga pirma. Nagkamali lang kami doon dahil naguyo kami doon sa inutusan ni Congressman na papirma sa amin. Tapos, ganun, hindi na pala namin pwedeng bawiin. So, napakahirap po sa isang ordinaryo Pilipino.
Tama po, Madam Chair, Your Honors. Kaya po, nararapat lamang na hindi mo na maipatupad yung rules na yan upang mapagbigyan yung mga ganyan pong... Katulad din po, halimbawa, Madam Chair, Your Honors, yung issue ng pwede ba may observer o watcher during the verification. Wala po sa provision ng aming rules, yung Common Resolution 10657. Kunyari lang din po, yung aming pong election official nag-ruling na ito ay signature ni A at ito ay siya ay registered voter kahit naman hindi niya signature yon. Alam niyo po ba sa rules, final po yon. And therefore, wala rin pong mode ng appeal doon po sa aming Common Resolution 10650. So, madami pong mga dapat na ayusin sapagkat we will have to ensure due process and the exercise of the rights of the people who are signing or not signing the signature sheets as well as the petition.
But given that the chairman has watched the videos, has listened to the witnesses, it's very clear that many of those who signed were misled and deceived. You are convinced that in fact a procedure for withdrawing signatures when they were extracted so illegally and unethically should be included in the new rules.
Madam Chair, dapat lang po, including po yung issue ng signature buying. Kasi sa issue po ng signature buying, wala po rin nakalagay doon kung paano. For example, meron pong ebidensya laban na si A, ang kanyang pirma ay produkto ng pamimili o pagbibigay sa kanya kung ano man pong binibigay ng pamahalaan. Wala rin pong sinasabi na dapat tanggalin yung pangalan ni A doon sa signature page at payagan na hindi dapat ibilang siya doon sa pag-determine ng 3% or 12%.
Salamat
Madam Chair,
po.
Madam Chair.
If I may lang po, with the permission of the good chair, since nabanggit po kanina ni Senator Escudero na walang expiry po itong mga signatures na collect, no? Ang tanong ko lang po sa inyo dito, bakit ngayon lang na naisipan ninyo ang bank na i-suspend mo na ang proceedings at naging divisive eh. Medyo nagkagulo, hindi nga tayo abot dito kung hindi earlier pa po na-address na po itong problema ito. Bakit po recently lang po na-suspend yung proceedings at bakit hindi nyo muna pinlansya ng mabuti itong mga rules ninyo bago pinatuloy yung pagkolekta? At yung tanong dyan is inaantayan ng mga kababayan natin yung expiry na to. Until walang klarong sagot mula sa COMELEC, ay wala pong tuldok itong naging divisive na issue na ito.
Madam Chair, Your Honors, with your kind indulgence, Commissioner Ibulay would like to answer the query of the good Senator Bongo.
Commissioner Bulay, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With the indulgence of the good Senator, idol ko po si Senator Bob, Senator Bato. Simula po kami tumanggap ng papel, second week ng January. Ngayon po, January 30. Ang COMELEC po, ngayon in the thick of preparations for 2025, and not a single document came to our office. Hanggang ngayon, wala po. And yung aming aaralin pa namin, yung batas tungkol dito, hindi ho madaling gawin. Kasi po, nagpiprepare kami sa 2025 elections. Na yun po ay babaguhin ang sistema. So dumating po ito, second week ng January this year. Ngayon po, January 30 lang tayo eh. Mabilis pa nga ho yung aming aksyon considering yung workload na dinadaanan po namin ngayon. Kaya humihingi po kami ng paumanhin kung hindi po kami nakakilos agad. Pero sana po maintindihan na hindi lang po yun ang aming ginagawa. And true to the heart, hindi po namin gusto na i-wrap ang common Pilipino ng kanilang karapatan. We will not stand to that. Ako po ay napapasalamat, Madam Chair, sa oras na.
Meron na ba kayong formal complaint na natanggap sa mga naiulat na panunuhol in exchange for the signature?
Madam Chair, Your Honors, as of this time po, wala po. At as of this time din po, wala pa rin natatanggap ang amin pong mga local government nationwide po sa mga 1,800 municipalities and cities na nagwi-withdraw ng kanilang signature. Simply because nga, siguro nga po dahil na i-announce kahapon na suspended naman ang lahat ng proseso. So again, in answer to your query, Madam Chair, Your Honors, wala pa po kami natatanggap na kahit na anong complaint.
Since nabanggit nyo rin po, Mr. Chairman, na noong mga nakaraang araw, di ba may mga pronouncement kayo na bawal po yung panunuhol in exchange for the signature. Since wala kayong natatanggap na complaint, wala ho ba kayong ginawang pag-imbestiga sa mga field officers nyo po?
Madam Chair, kapag po tinignan natin yung mga umiiral ng mga patakaran, kahit po ang Omnibus Election Code na under Republic Act 6735 ay suppletory in character. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng gamitin namin. Alam niyo po, sa punto ng signature gathering, wala pa pong jurisdiction ng COMELEC. Doon po sa issue ng panunuhol o paggamit ng pondo, wala po kami jurisdiction. Hindi po siya ma-relate kahit anong stretch ng aming imagination. Yun nga po yung pilit naming sinusubukan na mapagawa ng paraan. Kasi yung pong issue ng sinasabing vote buying, papasok lang po kasi ang vote buying, Madam Chair, Your Honors, kapag po election period. Yan po yung jurisdiction ng COMELEC. And therefore, when it comes to misuse of public funds in relation to signature buying, ang COMELEC po ay walang jurisdiction. The most po, magkakaroon kami ng jurisdiction kapag naandun na kami sa level ng verification. Pag pine-verify na namin ang signatures, then tsaka po kami mag-entertain na si A, si B, si C, ang buong barangay na ito, kinuhanan ng signatures, pinili ang kanilang mga firma. Pwede po namin ma-entertain. Pero nga po, hanggang ngayon, the COMELEC does not have jurisdiction yet. Even at the time of the suspension of all proceedings, wala pa po kaming jurisdiction. Kaya nga po, siguro po for purposes of legislation, yan po yung dapat maisama kung talagang re-reviewin po natin yung Republic Act 6735. Kasi po the COMELEC cannot punish an act as criminal. The COMELEC po does not have that authority to define a crime. Meron po tayong prinsipyo sa batas, nullum crimen, nullum pena sine lega. There's no crime if there is no law punishing it. So how can we, the COMELEC, punish or even charge somebody violating something or performing an act which to us, under common understanding, is illegal or immoral kung hindi po siya punishable? Siguro po under the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, but not under the Omnibus Election Code.
Marami akong listahan dito kung ano-anong pwedeng ipataw na parusa na kahit sinasabi ninyo na wala sa batas, napakarami po nito. At
Madam Chair.
andito yung mga iba't ibang anti-graft, yung revised penal code, ang 2020, may technical conversation po, may corruption of public officials, Section 4, andito yung Code of Ethical Conduct natin, yung admin problems, ang dami po rito, tapos yung direct bribery, lahat yan pwede, di ba? So, hindi pwedeng maghugas kamay. Talagang meron na batas na pwede gamitin.
We fully agree with Liz as mentioned as far as violation of 3019, Republic Act 6730, or even the Administrative Code of the Philippines. Pero Your Honor, yung pong violation sa Omnibus Election Code ay unfortunately wala po.
Tama. Nagkakaintindihan po tayo dyan, pero hindi pwede maghugas kamay na walang ipataw na parusa sa mga gumawa nito. Si Senator Risa lang po.
Salamat, Madam Chair. One last follow-up question kay Attorney Chel Jokno, related dun sa line of questioning ng Chair. Bukod sa mga batas na nabanggit na ng Chair, Attorney Chel, bilang criminal lawyer, Ano pa bang mga kaso ang pwedeng ihain sa mga taong mapatunayang ginamit, inabuso ang public authority o funds para sa isang huwad ng Impulse Initiative?
Thank you, Madam Chair, Your Honor. Kung if the public funds were used for another purpose other than what they were intended for, yan po ay papasok sa malversation. Kung sa anti-graft naman, maaari din yan kasi meron na pagbabawal doon to induce another public officer to commit any violation of rules and regulations or the law. So yun po yung dalawa. Nandiyan din po yung RA 6713, Code of Conduct, even the Ease of Doing Business Act actually, kasi penal clause that prohibits the giving of government services for a condition that's not it. So marami po talaga pwedeng kaso ang isa pa.
Salamat, Attorney Chair. Nagyaman ang Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, and I think we'll have to wind down, but a quick word from Congressman Marcoleta. We have session at 3 o'clock.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wish to take advantage of the presence of our distinguished former associate justices of the Supreme Court when, in particular, they say that the amended, or the recommended amendment to the Constitution by the People's Initiative is more of a revision than an amendment, citing that it will violate section or Article 6 of the Philippine Constitution. Madam Chair, the way this is my personal opinion. When we call for the Congressional or the Constituent Assembly, it's the first mode to amend the Constitution or revise the Constitution. It says, amendment to or revision of this Constitution may be proposed by 1. The Congress upon 3/4 vote of all its members. So I'll proceed from that. When the Constitution simply say of all the members of Congress, it takes the totality of the members of the House of Representatives and then the Senate. Paano po yun, Justice Ascuna or Justice Carpio? Ang sabi po ninyo, if for example, the members of the Senate would not agree, kunwari po, inimbitahan namin sila, but they did not go there, or probably 2 or 3 only of them came in, so hindi po represented ang Constituent Assembly. So there will be no time at all that we will be utilize that particular mode of amending the Constitution by simply for the Senate to refuse to go with us and meet with us as a Constituent Assembly. Wala pong mangyayari at yung pong napakahalagang provision na itinakda ng gumawa ng saligang batas para susugin ang saligang batas ay hindi po mangyayari kahit kailan. The House of Representatives will be at the mercy of the Senate. Kasi sasabihin lang po nila, wala po kaming 3/4, sir. I'm sorry. And this has been the case. I have been long enough in Congress to see that our invitations were not even responded to. Wala pong nangyayari. The Senate, with all due respect, sat on all the invitations. RPH 1, RPH 2, whatever RPH. Wala pong mangyayari. Kung siguro po, sa akin lang palagay, pag sinabi niya 3/4 of all the members of Congress, we get the totality of the members. Halimbawa po, ngayon po ay 309 ang members ng House of Representatives. There are 24 members of the Senate. We have 333. 3/4 of that is 249, I think. So sabi po ng ating mga kaibigan sa Senate, dilute naman kami. Tama naman po yun eh. 300 po kami, 24 sila. But that is the simple language of the Constitution. Yun po yung sinabi. Alam nga naman pong yung 300 ay lulunurin ng isang timbang tubig, Mr. Justice. So kailan po mangyayari talaga? It will not even be in the foreseeable future. Maybe we will wait for all eternity para lang po mapapayag namin ang aming mga kaibigan from the Senate to meet with us. Mag-uusap lamang po kami, hindi po mangyayari. Just the invitation. Wala pong mangyayari para pag-usapan namin whether we will vote separately or jointly. But in my own personal opinion, kasi po, hindi po kami gagawa ng batas. When we join ourselves as a constituent assembly, we are not making legislative function. We're doing legislative function. In the same manner, in Section 18, Article 7, kapag ka po i-revoke natin ang proclamation ng martial law, sabi po ng article, Congress voting jointly by a vote of at least a majority of all its members. Ganun din po yung pagkakasabi. Why? Wala pong legislation involved. When we propose an amendment to the Constitution, we are simply a member of the Constituent Assembly. Kaya nga po iraratify po ng ating mamamayan through a plebiscite. In Section 19, last paragraph of Article 7, sinabi, when the President shall have the power to grant amnesty with the consensus of a majority of all the members of Congress. That is not legislative. Kaya po pwede po yung joint eh. Nangyayari lang po yung bicameral pagkagawa po kami ng batas. Tama po yung sinabi, Majority Leader Joel Villanueva. Magpapalit po kami ng kalye. Legislation po yun eh. So magbabicam po yun. In this case, we are not doing legislative function. We are simply proposing an amendment to the Constitution. That is a constituent power. Ginagamit po namin, that is not legislative. Ang totoo po nun, ang mag-a-approve naman po ng aking proposal, yun pong mga mamamayan natin. Siguro po, Madam Chair, it is a respectful request for everybody to consider na baka naman po hindi separate voting talaga. Kasi po, ang totoo niyan, yung gumawa po ng saligang batas, Madam Chair, kung gusto po niyang i-distinguish, isa na lamang po, sabi po nila, katulad po nung Section 11, last paragraph, Article 7, kung gusto po nung gumawa ng saligang batas na i-distinguish talaga, joint voting, joint assembly, ganito po sinasabi. Section 11, last paragraph, Article 7. Congress determines by 2/3 vote of both houses voting separately, tingnan po ninyo, of both houses voting separately that the President is unable to discharge the powers of his office. Dinidistingue po niya eh. Section 9, Article 7. In case of a vacancy in the office of the Vice President, the President's nominee from the Senate or House of Representatives shall assume office upon confirmation of a majority vote of all the members, both of both houses, voting separately. So, Madam Chair, may pagkakataon po sa buhay ng ating saligang batas, kung minsan sasabihin niya na, i-distingue niya, voting jointly, or in joint assembly, voting separately. But in this case po, napansin ko, pagka po hindi tayo gumagawa ng batas, if we are not in a legislative work, ang sinasabi po ng gumawa ng saligang batas, it is simple, the totality of all the members of Congress. Kaya tingin ko po doon, joint voting. Salamat po, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat, Congressman Marcoleta. Nagmamadali po tayo dahil may session pa kami ng alas 3. Pero huling hirit yata kay sa ating mga justices, kung may maidadagdag po kayo, si Justice Tony Carpio, nagtaas po ng kamay. Perhaps you can enlighten us on what actually was envisioned by both the framers of the Constitution as well as the ponentes of the relevant cases. Justice Carpio, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Uh, The Constitution expressly provides that Congress shall consist of the House of Representatives and the Senate, period. It does not say that Congress, when performing legislative functions, shall consist of the House and Senate. So, Congress is composed of the Senate and the House regardless of what they do. Whether performing legislative function or approving the declaration of martial or doing other things. No? But in the declaration of martial law, they have to meet, but the Constitution is voting jointly. It's the only instance in the Constitution that you can find the phrase voting jointly. In other words, this is an exceptional case. That's why if you add voting jointly in other provision, that is an exceptional case that departs from the general rule that the Congress shall be composed of the House and the Senate vote, and when one chamber cannot act without the approval of the other. You cannot even pass a law renaming a national road if it is an act of the House alone. You cannot pass an ordinary law without both chambers approving. And the Constitution is the highest law of the land. You cannot just say the Speaker alone shall convene the Constituent Assembly and you need only 255 votes that will all come from the House, and you can disregard the 24 votes of the Senate. That is an exceptional departure. That is a revision. So you cannot do that in a people's initiative. You can do that in a con or a con-us. I want to emphasize again, the Constitution is the highest law of the land. If you pass an ordinary law, both chambers must approve. And therefore, when you amend the highest law of the land, subject to ratification, you must also both approve. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, I made the qualification
I'm
that
sorry, but I think we're short for
just
time.
1 minute lang, Madam Chair, because this is very, very important. Ang sinabi ko
Yes,
po
but
kanina,
first,
kino-qualify ko.
but may I thank Justice Carpio for coming to the Senate
Yes, ma'am.
and enlightening us with his extraordinary perspective and participation in all that past in our history. So, yes, Congressman Marcoleta, we have session.
I made a qualification, Madam Chair, na kapag ang Congress po ay nagsanib para sa Constituent Assembly, hindi po kami gagawa ng batas. Wala po yon. Tingnan po ninyo, Justice Carpio, Section 3, Article 11. The House of Representatives shall have the exclusive power to initiate all the case of impeachment. Hindi bicameral po yun, kami lamang po yun. Yung constitutional, yung Commission on Appointments, this is an independent body enshrined in the Constitution. Hindi po ang gawain namin po doon ay gumawa ng batas. We are there to evaluate and test the competence and the merits of the appointees of the President. Wala po kami ginagawang batas doon. That is why doon po voting jointly kami. And we are members of a constituent body. Sinasabi po rin CA. Hindi po ba? Pagka po nagkaroon ng trial sa Senate, pagka po yung impeachment, hindi po kami, ang Senate lang po is dissolved prior. Nakalagay din po sa Constitution, that is not even bicameral. When a treaty or international agreement shall be valid and effective if concurred in by at least two-thirds of all the members of the Senate. Hindi po kami kasali doon. That is not bicameral.
I think I have to terminate the hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
We
Thank
have
you very
only
much.
one room, and this is the session hall. So unfortunately, we'll have to wind this down. I guarantee you there will be other hearings, and you will be duly invited. For the representatives from the other groups, we can invite you at the next hearing. I'm so sorry we have not been able to accommodate all those from the SWD, DOH, DOLE who were very well prepared to testify. I thank Pirma for coming over. We thank the legal luminaries who have graced us with their presence, and certainly the full force of the COMELEC that's represented here
Madam
is
Chair.
very welcome. Yes, Senator
One last
Risa
request, Madam
and
Chair.
Majority Leader.
If the chair may also invite on behalf of the committee, Christian Monsod, also a framer of the 1987 Constitution and a former COMELEC chair, to the next hearing.
Okay,
Madam Chair.
yes,
Just a very quick,
Majority
just a very
Leader,
quick
please,
reaction.
Senator Floyd back to the okay, Majority Leader, please.
Thank you. I just can't help but make a short comment, Madam Chair, because I was listening to a press conference that is now going on with the other house, and some of our counterparts were saying that we should not be doing or conducting this investigation, which I don't feel is proper, Mr. President, Madam Chair. I think it should be noted that a lot of government funds were used, a lot of videos and even recordings, text messages, etc. Yung nakita natin. Sana lahat po tayo on board dito bilang mga kawani ng pamahalaan. Maging interesado tayo kung ginagamit yung pangalan natin, ginagamit yung opisina natin. Sana maging interesado tayo doon sa katotohanan na mayroong mga instances, Madam Chair, na yung naghihirap, naghihikahos na kababayan natin, humihingi ng tulong sa gobyerno, ipagkakait yung tulong kung hindi pipirma. Kakasalukasok po yun. Kahit sinong Pilipino, hindi dapat baliwalay yun. And that's the main reason, Madam Chair, that's why we are conducting this hearing. But on another note, because my good friend, the brilliant lawyer from the House, Senator Congressman Marcoleta mentioned my name, I think it is clear for our people when we get elected as members of the Senate or the House of Representatives. It's very clear, Madam Chair, that we are not only being tasked to legislate laws. We are tasked even to exercise our mandate, to exercise our oversight function in ensuring the checks and balances exist. May nag-check, may nagmamatsyag, may nagbabantay sa executive, maging sa budget ng judiciary, dumadaan ho sa Kamara at dito sa Senado. Yung pagpapalit kanina ng kalye, paborito nating example yan, idinadaan sa Kamara, idinadaan sa Senado. Ito pa kayang pagpapalit ng kaluluwa ng bayan? Isang boto lang, ibig sabihin yung bumoto doon sa Batanes na 7,000 votes lang, congressman ka na, versus ang pinakamababang senador na na-elect, 15 million votes. Pareho lang yung boto nila. Ganun ba talaga yon yung intention of framers of our Constitution? So I just wanted to put that on record, Madam Chair, and again, appeal to our colleagues, to our counterpart, na hindi po biro itong nangyaring peking initiative na ito. Marami pong nagrereklamo, tao ho, humihinga, naghihingi ng tulong sa gobyerno, nagdarahop, dinadanglil yung AX, pag hindi ka pumirma, hindi ka we should all be united on this matter, Madam Chair, na i-reject natin ito, siguruhin panagutin kung sino man ang nasa likod dito. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat, Madjo. At ngayon, para panguli, at narito ang ating kaibigan, Senator Grace po, na kasamahan ko sa pag-aamyenda